is destructive.
This food is your culture.
Then the culture is destructive.
Boys, there's a very good reason to be responsible with your sense stick, because it can become a senseless stick really, really quickly. We have this story coming to us from Metro. Stalker jailed after sending ex-boyfriend's new partner a pig's head. This is written by Jordan King. So, off top, what do we think, boys? I mean, me personally, on the left, let's pop it in right quick. On the left, this is her, I assume, during the jail stuff. So, you know, she got that stress weight on and everything else like that. On the right, this is, I guess, an Instagram photo. You know, shoot, easy no pull out. You know what I'm saying? Like hard 8, for real. A woman who sent a pig's head to her ex-boyfriend's new partner during a terrifying stalking campaign has been jailed. Tia McBean, 23, also bombarded Oralton Robinson with phone calls and frequently ordered pizzas to his home. McBean fell pregnant during a short affair with Mr. Robinson, during which time he was also convicted for assaulting her. So one of those tumultuous, like really fiery relationships. You know what I'm saying? The relationships that burn brightest, burn out fastest. Can you dig? After the relationship ended, McBean sent abusive text messages, knocked on his door at night, left notes, and at times made more than 100 phone calls a day, despite already being the subject of a restraining order. One text message sent last November said, "Where's your ugly monkey son? Does it hurt knowing I have a pretty light-skinned child with his father now, with the father of your ugly monkey son? I must bug you." I'm sorry, but okay, so that is such a womanly thing, right? Like to particularly be focused on the looks of their children, you know, like, I'm light skinned, thusly I'm better than you. I would assume that Mr. What's his last name? Robinson. That Mr. Robinson, I guess the mother of his child, like, is this his wife? I'm not sure. She also targeted the restaurant run by Mr. Robinson's partner, Arika Bish, sending Facebook messages to regular customers falsely claiming she had seen a man carrying out a sex act in a cooking pot. Oh, she was going ham with the stalking. But that's the thing. That's the point about the sense stick. Yeah, we know Facebook. That's the point about the sense stick that you know, like I gotta warn you guys of, because yeah, like she went off the deep end. She was carrying his child. Fellas, when you cut these chicks, particularly raw, you leave your DNA inside of her. And so yeah, she was full of his DNA and just gone bonkers. Clearly she did not want this to end. McBean ordered so many pizzas, the receipts filled 4 double-sized pages of evidence, and Mr. Robinson even found a delivery driver outside his home after returning from the police station to report the unwanted food. This was a toxic relationship that descended into this quite irrational behavior, James Harrison, defending, told Woodwilch Crown Court. There's an interesting point that I think really needs to be brought up, because there's a lot of crazy in those eyes. I mean, it like, guys, seriously, you see it, right? The craziness is just bouncing off of the frame at you. But there's an endearingness to this craziness. Like, they're like, she loved the guy, you know? She was not emotionally mature enough to deal with what she was going through. And whereas culturally, right, we're trying to sit there and say men and women should be held to the same standards and everything else like that. When we don't take female nature into account, judicially, we do. The judicial system does take female nature into account, which is why they have the lighter sentences and everything else like that. Because you can kind of see, like, even with the little smirk on her face, she feels like she's right in doing this. And had Mr. Robinson, had the circumstances been different, and Mr. Robinson had, like, was able to pipe her down, literally and figuratively in this instance, she, you probably would have been able to build something pretty strong with the broad because of this fierce loyalty and devotion that really, that's really wired within the feminine. That's wired within her. It just has to be, for lack of a better term, manipulated into something worth a shit, as opposed to allowed, for lack of a better term, to, be on its own and go about its own devices, because you see what the results are. On February 25th last year, she sent a pig head to the restaurant run by Miss Biche. She thought it was a delivery and was shocked to find what was inside the package, as the venue only served halal meat. Oh no, so everything has to be washed and cleaned and all this other stuff. Oh my goodness, stop doing that. I don't mean to. I'm waiting for the pop-up. Okay. She told the court, I am vegan and grew up in a household that does not eat pork. I did throw up after seeing it, and I was sent home at 12 o'clock that day. McBean of New Cross, East London, pled guilty to multiple charges, including breach of a restraining order, criminal damage, stalking, and sending malicious communications. She was jailed for 15 months, and Judge Ruth Downing extended Mr. Robinson's restraining order against her until May 31st. Ms. Downing said McBean's breaches against the restraining order were of a offensive rather than violent nature, and has caused a loss of peace and quiet for Mr. Robinson and his partner. Once again, Mr. Robinson, completely understand why you didn't pull out, but the deal is that you didn't pull out. Fellas, responsibility, accountability, that has to fall on us, Like, I can't tell y'all how many times, like condoms have been optional. I'll put it to you like that. Speaking directly to Mr. Bean, to McBean, the judge said, I don't entirely discount that there was a genuine degree of apprehension from Mr. Robinson and his partner, that the conduct could escalate if your calls and your abuse did not achieve whatever it was you were out to achieve. She wanted her man back. Matters reached a very unpleasant stage when you sent a package that, when opened, revealed that there was a pig's head inside, which was a horrible and very gratuitous act of spite. She said McBean's reviews on Miss Biche's restaurant were deeply unpleasant, unnecessary, hurtful, irksome, and worrying. The defendant was previously kept in custody and is due to be released on license, in mid-March. So that's the end of the story. But once again, this isn't a simp move by me, by any stretch of the imagination. I'm telling you guys exactly how the courts and our nature should be accounted for. We need to account for our nature. And culturally, we don't at all. And after generations of, really splitting us apart in many, many ways, when you're young and naive, even though, what is she, like 23 or something like that? I think she's like 23. But once again, we'll go back to the theory that women stop maturing once they realize, them titties will get them whatever they want. Boom. Is this her first child? Probably. If it's her first child, jeez, man. Jeez. Yeah, it feels like a wasted opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at things from purely a negative viewpoint. I see things as wasted opportunities, a wasted potential. And, shoot, if she's sitting there willing to cut to have a pig head delivered to your ex on some Godfather 2 swag, then she definitely, this type of chick that would have died for you, my guy. Like that would have been very, very loyal to you. And in a world where loyalty just isn't a thing anymore, Yeah, if you, I see a wasted opportunity for Mr. Robinson. Well, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you, sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice, you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Pay the bell for notifications, get something from Teespring. Check me out on Patreon as well. Link in the description. Go in the description. Demolish the description links and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? I mean, she's cute as hell, dude. Like, seriously, like the court weight and everything else like that when trimmed off, she aight. I mean, I think Mr. Robinson blew it in a lot of different ways. Your sense stick, once again, to wrap it all the way back around, I believe that the sense stick can also be the senseless stick. To whom great power is given, much should be expected. But you may disagree, and that's what my comment section's for. Until the next one.
Men, we don't know what we did.